The ship had fallen from the stars like a wounded bird. Lieutenant Marcus Hale could still hear the echo of tearing metal and the roar of fire in his ears as he crawled out of the broken wreck. Smoke curled upward from the fractured hull, and shards of the shuttle lay scattered across the alien jungle floor. The world around him was strange. Tall trees of glass-like bark, leaves that shimmered with faint blue light, and the air itself seemed heavy with static. Each breath felt sharp in his lungs. His arm stung with pain, but the real danger was his leg. A venomous spine from some strange insect-like creature had pierced through his suit minutes earlier. "Status report," Marcus shouted hoarsely, trying to push back the dizziness clouding his vision. Two of his crewmates answered from the wreckage. Ensign Laura dragged herself out coughing, her helmet cracked but still intact. Behind her came Sergeant Cade, limping but alive. The others? Marcus did not want to look back. He knew the crash had already claimed too many. "The med kit is ruined," Laura said, panic clear in her voice. "I can't synthesize anything for your wound." The toxin is spreading fast. Marcus felt it too. His leg was burning, numbness crawling up toward his chest. He gritted his teeth. He had been on countless missions before, but never had death seemed so close. Then the jungle shifted. The trees moved, not with the wind, but as if something alive was weaving through them. A figure emerged. At first Marcus thought it was light itself shaped into a person. The being was tall, slender, skin like translucent crystal that reflected the glowing leaves. Its eyes burned like pale stars. It was no animal. It was intelligent. The alien spoke, the words musical, strange, yet somehow Marcus's translator unit struggled to piece together fragments. Humans. "Here, forbidden!" Laura raised her hands. "Please, we mean no harm. Our ship crashed. He's dying." She pointed at Marcus. The alien's eyes lingered on him. There was no pity in that gaze, only suspicion. After a long silence, she approached, steps graceful as though she barely touched the ground. "I am Serenia of the Valeth," the being said. "Your kind should not be here. This world is sacred." Marcus forced himself to stay upright, though his vision blurred. "I don't care what you call it. Either help us or leave us to die." For a moment, Serenia stood still, studying him. Then, with a sigh that sounded almost like cracking crystal, she knelt beside him. From a small vial on her belt, she drew a liquid that glowed faintly green. She poured it on a cloth and pressed it to his wound. The burning slowed, but not enough. His body still trembled as the venom worked its way through him. "It will not last," Serenia murmured. "Your blood is too weak to resist the toxin. There is nothing more I can do." Marcus heard her words, but in his haze he noticed something else. The cloth she had used was stained with her blood. She had cut her own skin to mix her healing liquid with something stronger. A strange instinct stirred inside him. His vision darkened, but somewhere deep in his body something screamed for survival. He could taste death already creeping closer. His eyes fell on the crimson crystal-like drops soaking the cloth. Without thought, he brought it to his lips. The taste was unlike anything he had ever known. Metallic, sharp, yet alive with fire. The moment it touched his tongue, the burning in his veins shifted. His body convulsed, then steadied. Serenia gasped, eyes wide with horror. "That's my blood, human. Stop drinking," she screamed, her voice echoing through the trees. But Marcus could not stop. Something deeper than reason pulled him forward. Each drop felt like it carried light itself into his body. Then, visions came, flashes of places he had never seen. Vast crystal cities under twin suns, rivers that shimmered with energy. Serenia as a child, standing before elders of her people. Battles fought long ago against an enemy of shadow and machine. Marcus tore the cloth from his lips, trembling. His chest heaved, but the poison was fading. The numbness was gone. His body pulsed with strength. Serenia stumbled back, horrified, her hands trembling as if he had committed the greatest crime of all. You carry my memories now," she whispered. "Do you even know what you have done? Our blood is sacred. It holds the lives of those before us. You are not meant to touch it. No human should ever." She stopped, her voice breaking. Her shining eyes were filled with a mix of anger and fear. Marcus could not answer at first. His mind was still filled with voices that were not his own. He felt her childhood fear of the dark caves, the pride of her people as they shaped their first starship, and a weight of sorrow that stretched back centuries. He shivered. I didn't know. I just wanted to live." Serenia turned away, her body tense. You were not meant to. Perhaps this world has already judged us both. The jungle grew quiet around them. The other humans watched in shock, too stunned to speak. The air itself seemed to hold its breath. Marcus looked down at his hands, shaking, and for the first time in his life he wondered if survival had cost him more than death ever could. The night after the crash was long. The jungle hummed with alien life. Creatures with glowing eyes, wings like glass, and sounds that no human language could describe. Marcus sat near the broken remains of the shuttle, his back against the hull, while Laura and Cade tried to set up a small perimeter. But Marcus's mind was not in the jungle. It was somewhere else. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw flashes of memory that were not his own. He saw crystal towers under the suns, spirals of music carved into the air, and shadows of war that had broken the Veilith long ago. He even felt Serenya's first memory, her small hands pressing against the surface of a glowing stone, her elders telling her she carried the voice of her ancestors in her blood. He woke with a gasp. His skin was clammy, and yet he felt strong. Stronger than before. Serenya sat a short distance away, her body glowing faintly in the dark. She had not left them, though her posture was rigid, her face carved in silence. "You keep staring at me," Marcus said hoarsely. "You carry what was never meant for you," Serenya replied coldly. "Do you not feel it? The weight of my people's lives, the burden of 1,000 voices whispering in your blood?" Marcus hesitated. "Yes, I feel them. They're not mine, but they're inside me. And yet," he clenched his fist, "I don't feel weak anymore. Your blood saved me." Her crystal-like eyes narrowed. "It did not save you. It cursed you. You carry something your kind cannot understand. If the Council learns of this, they will not let you live." Laura, who had been listening, stepped forward. "Wait, what council? Who are your people, really?" Serenia turned her gaze toward the glowing trees. "We are the Veilith. We were here before your kind learned to stand upright. This planet is our sanctuary, the heart of our memories. No outsider may touch it, for our blood is not simply life, it is history itself." Cade frowned. "So your blood stores memory?" Serenia nodded slowly. "Every Veilith carries the songs and sights of their ancestors. When one of us dies, their blood is returned to the river of memory. To drink it is to steal our very soul." Her voice grew sharper. "And that is what your lieutenant has done." Marcus pressed his forehead against the cold metal of the wreck. He had not asked for this, not really. He had been dying, desperate, and survival had guided his hand. But now he carried something he did not understand. "Then what am I supposed to do?" he asked quietly. "Just wait until your council decides to kill me?" Serenia did not answer at first. The firelight flickered across her crystalline skin, making her look both fragile and unbreakable. Finally, she said, "You must come with me. I cannot explain everything, but the elders must see. Perhaps they will show mercy." Laura shook her head. "And if they don't? Then his life ends," Serenia said simply. The words hung heavy in the air. The march to the Veilith. The next day, Serenia led them through the jungle. Marcus noticed that his senses were sharper now. He could hear distant rivers, the footsteps of unseen creatures, and even faint echoes of Serenia's emotions when she walked near him. Fear, hesitation, but also curiosity. More than once, he stumbled as vision struck him without warning. He would blink and suddenly see through another's eyes. A warrior of the Veilith standing on a battlefield centuries ago, holding a spear of light against enemies made of shadow and steel. When the vision passed, Marcus gasped for air.
His legs shook. Serenia stopped and turned sharply.
"You see them, don't you? The memories?" "Yes," Marcus admitted. "It's like I'm two people at once. Me and someone else. Someone older." Her expression darkened. "This is why it is forbidden. Our blood was not meant to bind with other species. You are walking in places where no human mind should go." But Marcus only clenched his jaw. "Maybe that's what makes us different. Humans survive by carrying what we shouldn't, by going where we're told not to." Serenia said nothing more, but Marcus noticed the faintest flicker of doubt in her eyes. The city of light by the third day. The jungle opened, and Marcus's breath caught in his throat. Before them rose a city unlike anything he had imagined. Towers of crystal stretched into the sky, connected by bridges that shimmered with flowing energy. Rivers of light ran between them, and the air itself sang with a faint hum, as if the city breathed. "This is Vathar," Serenia said quietly. Our home. Few outsiders have ever seen it. The humans stood in awe, but their wonder quickly turned to unease. As they entered, dozens of Valeth emerged, their bodies glowing with inner light. Their gazes fixed on Marcus, some with fear, others with open hostility. Whispers spread like fire. Human blood drinker. He carries the forbidden. He must be judged. Marcus felt their eyes piercing into him. His chest tightened, and for the first time since the crash, he truly feared what might come next. The council, they were taken to a great hall carved of living crystal. At the far end sat the council of elders, their forms taller, their light brighter, as if time itself had polished them into near perfection. Serenia bowed deeply. Honored council, I bring before you the humans who fell from the stars. One among them has broken our law. The eldest among them, a figure with eyes like burning silver, leaned forward. His voice rang like a chime. Step forward, human, Marcus did. His body was tense, but he met the elder's gaze without flinching. It is true, the elder said, his tone heavy. I can already sense it. You carry what is not yours. Our blood sings inside you, Marcus swallowed. I didn't know what I was doing. I was dying. I just wanted to live. Survival does not excuse theft, another elder said sharply. You have stolen memory, history, spirit itself. You should not exist. But before the judgment could fall, Marcus's mind surged again. Another vision struck him. Clearer than before, he saw the stars burning red, vast fleets of machines cutting through worlds. He saw Valeth warriors falling, their blood spilling, their memories screaming as they were lost. And he heard a voice, not his own, not Serenia's, but ancient, whispering, They will return. Marcus staggered. Wait, listen. I saw something. An enemy from your past. They're coming back. Your own blood told me. The hall erupted in outrage. The elders shouted, voices sharp with disbelief. Lies. Corruption of memory. Humans twist what they touch. Only Serenia looked shaken. She stared at Marcus as if torn in two. The eldest elder raised a hand, silencing the hall. His silver eyes burned. Enough. You have trespassed where no human should tread. You will remain here until your fate is decided. Perhaps the river of memory will take you, and this mistake will be undone. Guards of crystal and light stepped forward, surrounding Marcus and his crew. And for the first time, Marcus realized that his survival had not saved him. It had only opened the door to something far greater and far more dangerous. The cell was made of crystal, alive and humming faintly with energy. Marcus sat on the floor, his back against the smooth wall, his hands clenched into fists. The place felt less like a prison and more like a cage designed to watch him. Every breath carried a faint vibration, as though the walls themselves were listening. Laura and Cade were locked in a chamber beside him, separated by glowing barriers. He could hear their low voices through the hum. This is insane, Cade muttered. We crash here by accident and suddenly we're criminals. Laura sighed. Not just criminals. They think Marcus is something worse. He drank her blood. To them, that's beyond forgiveness, Marcus rubbed his temples. The voices inside his head were growing louder. Sometimes they were whispers of lullabies sung by mothers to Valeth children. Other times they were screams of warriors in battle. He could hardly tell where his own thoughts ended and theirs began. He closed his eyes. For a brief moment he saw Serenia standing before the council again. Her voice raised, her eyes burning with determination. But when he opened them, she was not there. Instead, the crystal wall shimmered, and then she appeared outside, flanked by 2 guards. Serenia stepped closer. Her face was unreadable, caught between anger and sorrow. You should not speak again of what you saw, she whispered through the barrier. The council believes you twisted our blood's memory. They will not listen. Marcus stood, his hands pressed against the glowing wall. But it's true. I saw something coming. Machines. Your ancestors fought them before, but they weren't destroyed. They're returning. Her gaze flickered, uncertain.
How can you know that?
Because your blood showed me, Marcus said, voice sharp with desperation. It wasn't just visions. It was history, and a warning. If you don't prepare, your people will fall again. The guards shifted uneasily, but Serenia raised her hand and they stepped back. Her eyes, glowing faintly, narrowed on Marcus. You speak with confidence, she murmured. But you are human. Your kind sees survival in every shadow. Why should I believe you? Marcus leaned closer. Because I shouldn't even be alive. I was dying. And yet your blood let me live. That means something. Maybe it means I was meant to see this. Maybe it means your people need help. For a moment the silence stretched between them, broken only by the hum of the crystal walls. Then Serenia turned away, her cloak shimmering as she walked down the hall. The guards followed. Marcus's chest tightened. He didn't know if he had reached her or lost her completely. The council's fear later, the council gathered again in the great hall. The elders' lights burned brighter than the torches that lined the walls. Their voices echoed like bells, filled with both fear and pride. One elder raised his hand. "The human speaks of old enemies. He claims our blood revealed a warning." Another elder hissed, "Blasphemy. He has polluted what is sacred. How can we trust visions stolen by a thief?" But the eldest elder, the one with eyes like silver fire, remained silent for a long while. Finally he spoke. "I remember the tales, the shadow machines that tore through our skies. We buried those memories deep so they would not poison the future, and yet the human describes them with too much detail." A murmur ran through the chamber. "Do you mean to say he speaks truth?" asked one. The silver-eyed elder frowned. "I do not know. But if he does, then we face danger greater than his trespass. If he does not, then his presence is a poison we must cleanse." The council could not agree. Half demanded Marcus's execution. Half urged caution. The decision was delayed. Serenia's doubt that night. Serenia returned once more, though this time she came without guards. She moved silently through the shadows, her crystal skin glowing faintly in the dark. Marcus stirred as she approached, his eyes tired but alert. "You came back," he said softly. Her voice was heavy. "The elders argue. Some want you destroyed. Others say you may carry knowledge we cannot ignore. I do not know what I believe." Marcus stood, his hand pressed against the glowing barrier. "Serenia, you've seen me. You know I'm not lying. Those visions aren't just in my head. They're part of you too. Don't you feel it? Don't you remember?" Serenia's eyes flashed with emotion, and for a moment Marcus felt a rush of memory that wasn't his own. Serenia's memory. She had once stood as a child in front of an elder's vision stone, hearing whispers of a war long past. The images had frightened her so much she had pushed them away. But now with Marcus's words they resurfaced. She shivered. "I remember shadows, metal shapes in the sky. My mother told me it was only legend." "Not legend," Marcus said firmly. "History. And history has a way of repeating itself." Serenia turned her face away. "If I help you, I betray my people. If I do nothing, I betray myself." "Tell me, human, what would you have me do?" Marcus's voice was quiet but steady. "Help me prepare. If they won't listen, then we'll fight without them. But when the machines come, they'll see we were right." Her glowing eyes locked on his. For a long moment she said nothing. Then at last she whispered, "I will think on it." Visions of war that night, Marcus dreamed again. Only this time the visions were sharper, clearer, more painful. He stood on a battlefield of fire. Crystal towers shattered under beams of red light. Valith warriors screamed as their blood spilled, their memories lost forever. The machines advanced without mercy, cold, silent, endless. And then Marcus saw something else. A shadow deeper than the machines moving among the stars. A hunger that reached beyond the Valith, beyond humanity. He woke drenched in sweat, his heart pounding. The voices inside him screamed in fear. Laura leaned against the wall of her own cell, watching him with worried eyes. "You were shouting in your sleep." Marcus swallowed hard. "We don't have much time. They're coming. And if the Valith don't believe me, we're all gonna die." Breaking point the next morning, the guards came for him. He was taken back to the council chamber where Serenia already stood, her expression troubled. The silver-eyed elder rose. "We have considered your fate. Your trespass cannot be forgiven, yet we cannot ignore the danger you speak of. Therefore, we will place you under trial, not of words, but of truth. If your visions are real, the river of memory will reveal it. If they are false, you will perish." Serenia's eyes widened. "Elder, that right is forbidden." "No outsider." "Silence," the elder said. "It is the only way." Marcus's stomach turned. He didn't know what kind of trial this was, but he saw the fear in Serenia's face. It was enough to tell him the danger was real. The guards dragged him forward to a pool of glowing liquid in the center of the chamber. The elder gestured. "The river of memory. Enter and the truth will show itself." Marcus looked at Serenia. She gave the faintest shake of her head as if begging him not to do it. But Marcus stepped forward anyway. The liquid rose around him, cold and burning at once. He gasped as light filled his eyes. Memories crashed into him, millions of voices, millions of lives. He saw the birth of stars, the rise and fall of empires, and always, the machines returning. When he opened his eyes, the council stared in stunned silence, for floating above the pool was an image no one could deny. Vast fleets of shadow machines. Cutting through space, heading straight for the Valeth homeworld, the elders whispered in terror. The silver-eyed elder's voice shook. "The human speaks truth." Serenia stared at Marcus, her heart torn. In saving himself, he had cursed himself. In drinking her blood, he had stolen what should never have been his. But in that same act, he had seen what the Valeth had tried to forget. Now neither species could ignore it. The vision still lingered in the chamber, painted in light above the pool of memory. Vast fleets of dark machines, endless and cold, moved between the stars. Their shadows fell across the Valeth city like a prophecy made real. No one spoke at first. The council sat frozen, their glowing eyes wide. Some looked horrified. Others looked furious. Finally, the silver-eyed elder rose to his full height. His voice rang out like a bell. "The humans' visions are true." The machines return. "We cannot deny it." Immediately, the chamber erupted in shouts. "This is corruption." He twisted our blood with his alien mind. "Destroy him before he poisons us further." Serenia stepped forward, her voice firm. "Enough, you saw it as I did. The machines are real. The human has given us warning. Should we spit on truth because it comes from a source we fear?" Her words silenced some, but not all. Half the council still looked at Marcus with hatred. The silver-eyed elder raised his hand. "We will not destroy the human, but neither can we trust him blindly. He shall remain under watch. If he speaks lies, the river will show us. If he speaks truth, then his knowledge will be our weapon." Marcus exhaled slowly. It wasn't freedom, but it wasn't death. At least not yet. A divided city, the days that followed were uneasy. Word of the human spread quickly through Vathar. Some Valeth whispered of him with awe, calling him a cursed messenger. Others spat when he passed, their eyes full of rage. Laura and Cade remained by his side, though they too were watched carefully. "Feels like we're walking on a blade's edge," Cade muttered as they were led through the city one evening. Marcus nodded. "We are, but at least we're alive. For now." Serenia walked beside them, her expression unreadable. She had defied her people by defending Marcus, yet she carried herself with the dignity of someone who refused to bend. When they reached a high terrace, Marcus paused. From there he could see the horizon, vast skies of violet, the twin suns dipping low. And there, faint but growing stronger, were new lights. Lights that did not belong to stars. His breath caught. "They're here." Serenia followed his gaze. The color drained from her face. The first signs. The machines did not arrive in silence. The sky shimmered as rifts opened, like wounds cut into reality itself. From those wounds came the shapes Marcus had seen in his visions. Vast black vessels, sharp and cold, moving with mechanical precision. The Valeth city erupted in alarm. Bells chimed, voices cried, and energy shields rose above the towers. For the first time in centuries, the sanctuary of memory trembled with fear. The council gathered the warriors. Crystal-armored soldiers marched to defensive lines carrying weapons that glowed with stored light. But Marcus could see their hesitation. The Valeth were beautiful, wise, and ancient, but they had grown comfortable in their sanctuary. They had forgotten how to fight a true war. He turned to Serenia. "They're not ready. Not for this," she nodded grimly. "Our people buried the memory of the machines because we wanted peace. But in doing so, we buried our strength as well." Marcus clenched his fists. The voices inside him roared. Memories of Valeth warriors, their tactics, their courage. And alongside them, his own human instincts burned bright. Together, they formed a storm inside his mind. "We can fight," Marcus said. "Humans adapt. You have the weapons, we have the will. Together, we stand a chance." Choosing sides that night, Marcus was summoned to the council once again. The silver-eyed elder stood tall, his face shadowed by the light of the great chamber. "The machines draw closer," the elder said. "Some of us believe you can guide us. Others still demand your execution." "The council is divided," Marcus stepped forward. "I don't care what you think of me. I didn't ask for your blood. I didn't ask for these visions. But they're real. You saw them. If you kill me, you lose the only bridge between your past and your future." A sharp voice cut through the air. One of the younger elders glared at him with burning hatred. "You are a thief. You polluted our sacred river. Even if your visions are true, what right do you have to lead us? Marcus's jaw tightened. The right to survive. The machines don't care about your laws or your purity. They'll burn your cities to ash, and when they do, the only thing that will matter is who fights back. The chamber fell silent. Serenia broke it. The human speaks truth. You fear him because he carries what you tried to forget, but it is because of him that we have warning. If we turn away from that, we are already dead. The silver-eyed elder lowered his head. So be it, the human will fight with us. But if he betrays us, his life will end. Preparing for war, the following days were filled with urgency. The Vaylith armed their warriors, charging weapons with energy drawn from the rivers of light. Humans worked alongside them, repairing parts of their shattered shuttle and adapting the alien technology. Marcus found himself standing in the center of it all, his mind filled with strategies not his own. The voices of Vaylith generals whispered battle plans into his thoughts, blending with his own human instincts. At times, the weight of it nearly crushed him. He would stumble, clutching his head, as memories of ancient battles surged too strongly. Serenia was always there to steady him. You carry more than anyone being should, she whispered once. But you endure. That is what makes you human. Marcus gave a tired smile. Endure, yeah, that's what we do. The enemy approaches. The sky grew darker each day as the machines closed in. Their fleet hovered at the edges of the system, silent and endless. No demands, no messages, only the cold promise of destruction. Cade leaned against a railing, staring at the horizon. They're not going to talk, are they? No threats, no bargaining, just wipe us out, Marcus nodded grimly. That's what they do. They erase, they consume. The first machine probe pierced the atmosphere a day later. It was a spear of black metal, falling like a star, slamming into the jungle beyond the city. Vaylith soldiers rushed to meet it, their weapons glowing. The battle was fierce. The probe unfolded into a towering construct of blades and fire. Vaylith beams cut into its armor, but the machine adapted, its surface shifting, hardening. Dozens of warriors fell before it was destroyed. The city trembled with fear. If one machine could cost so many lives, what would happen when the fleet itself descended? The uniting moment? That night, Marcus stood before both humans and Vaylith warriors in the training grounds. His voice carried across the space, steady and strong. I know you don't trust me. I know some of you hate me. But listen, what matters now isn't blood or law or pride. What matters is survival. These machines are older than both our species. They won't stop. They won't show mercy. The only way we live is if we fight together. He lifted one of the Vaylith weapons, its light humming in his hands. I'm not Vaylith. I'm human. But right now I carry your memories inside me. That makes me both. And if I can carry both, then maybe together we can carry this war. The silence that followed was heavy. Then slowly Serenia stepped forward. She raised her weapon high. I will fight with him. Others hesitated, but one by one more warriors followed, lifting their weapons. A chant began to rise, not human, not Vaylith, but something new, born of both. Marcus felt the voices inside him quiet for the first time, as if even the ancestors approved. But in the skies above, the machines began to move again, their black ships blotting out the stars. The storm was no longer coming. It had arrived. The sky over Vathar no longer held stars. Instead, it was filled with the black shapes of the machines, their angular vessels blotting out the heavens. Rivers of light flickered beneath the city, feeding shields that hummed above the towers. Yet all knew the barrier would not hold forever. Marcus stood on the highest terrace and staring at the enemy fleet. His hands trembled, but not with fear. Inside him, the voices of Vaylith ancestors whispered counsel, courage, warnings. Yet mingled with them was his own human instinct, the refusal to kneel, the stubbornness to fight even when defeat seemed certain. Serenia stepped beside him. Her silver blue eyes glowed faintly in the twilight. It begins tonight, she said softly. Marcus nodded. Then we end it tonight. The first strike without warning, the machines descended. Black ships pierced the clouds, raining fire that shook the jungle and cracked the shields. Energy flared across the barrier, and the city shook like a living thing under attack. Shields at 60%, cried a Vaylith commander. Redirect power from the river conduits, shouted another. Marcus, Serenia, and the humans joined the command chamber as the city prepared to fight. Cade swore under his breath, gripping a strange hybrid weapon he had learned to use. Feels like a storm's breaking right on top of us. It is, Marcus said grimly. And where the lightning rods? The first wave of machine constructs landed, tall black figures of shifting metal. Their bodies reshaped as weapons formed from their limbs. Cannons, blades, claws. The ground forces of the Vaylith surged forward, their crystal armor glowing, weapons blazing beams of light. The battle began in thunder. The battle for Vathar Marcus fought in the front lines, his borrowed Vaylith blade burning bright in his grip. When he struck a machine, he felt the voices guide his hand, ancient warriors lending him their strength. Beside him, Serenia moved like flowing light, her strikes graceful yet deadly. Each cut of her weapon shattered machine armor, sparks flying like stars. Humans fought too, their movements less graceful but no less fierce. Cade and Laura led squads through the narrow streets, planting explosives and ambushing enemy constructs. Where the machines adapted to Vaylith energy, they struggled against human unpredictability. But still, the enemy pressed forward. Every time one machine fell, two more took its place. Their black ships hung above like vultures waiting to feed. Marcus stumbled after a clash, clutching his chest. The voices roared louder, almost deafening. He saw flashes, memories of battles the Vaylith had fought long ago, their triumphs, their failures. Marcus. Serenia's hand caught his shoulder. Her eyes burned with urgency. You're losing yourself, he shook his head. No, I think I finally understand. The voices. They're not just memories. They're power. They want me to use it. Her grip tightened. It could destroy you. Maybe, he said, breath ragged. But if I don't, we all die anyway. The turning point, the machines unleashed their second wave. Larger constructs, titan forms with multiple limbs, slammed into the defenses. The city's shield cracked like glass. Panic rippled through the defenders. The silver-eyed elder shouted above the chaos. Fall back to the river core. We must protect the heart. But Marcus stepped forward instead, raising his blade. His voice carried across the battlefield, louder than it should have been, as if the ancestors spoke with him. Hold the line. We are not prey to be hunted. We are not shadows to be erased. We are the living, and tonight we fight not as human or Vaylith, but as one. The warriors faltered for a heartbeat, staring. Then slowly their cries rose in answer. Humans and Vaylith alike rallied behind him. Striking with renewed fury, Serenia watched, her chest tight with something she had not felt in centuries. Hope. The choice of power. Marcus felt the river of light calling him. In its glow, he saw the truth. The Vaylith had sealed away their memories, their strength, out of fear. But through their blood, he had unlocked it again. He turned to Serenia. Take me to the core, she hesitated. The core is forbidden. Even council members fear it. Then fear ends tonight, he said. Together they raced through collapsing streets until they reached the chamber of the river core. A vast pool of radiant energy swirled there, the very heart of Vathar. Its light painted the walls in shifting patterns like living fire. Marcus stepped toward it, his body trembling. If I merge with it, the voices will flow through me. I can lead them. Direct them, but... He swallowed hard. I may not come back. Serenia's eyes shone with anguish. You are human. If you do this, you could burn away. Marcus smiled faintly. Humans burn bright, Serenia. That's what we do. Before she could stop him, he stepped into the light. The human beacon, the core, engulfed him. Pain lanced through every nerve, but alongside it came clarity. He felt the ancestors, thousands of Vaylith souls, warriors and sages, voices long silent. But instead of overwhelming him, they now listened. You are not Vaylith, they whispered. No, Marcus answered. I'm human, and I carry both now. The light exploded outward. Across the battlefield, warriors looked up as a column of brilliance erupted from the city's heart. At its center stood Marcus, his body glowing, his blade blazing like a star. The machines faltered. For the first time, their perfect march broke. Marcus raised his weapon, his voice ringing across the sky. We are not yours to erase. He surged forward, leading the charge. Humans and Vaylith followed, their cries joining his. The battlefield turned from chaos to unity. The fall of the enemy. The battle raged for hours. Marcus cut through the machines with unearthly strength, every strike guided by the ancestors within him. Serenia fought at his side, her movements as fierce as the storm. Cade and Laura led human squads to strike the machine ships directly, planting charges and blasting holes in their hulls. The Vaylith air wings soared, beams of light piercing the black vessels. The machines adapted, but for once they were slower. The combined fury of human unpredictability and Valith wisdom struck them harder than either could alone. One by one, the black ships began to fall, crashing into the jungles in burning fireballs. The sky cleared bit by bit, stars returning where darkness had ruled. At last, the great flagship descended, larger than a mountain, weapons blazing. Marcus knew this was the heart. If it survived, the war would not end. He turned to Serenia. With me. Together, they led the final assault. Human and Valith fighters swarmed the flagship, carving into its hull. Marcus reached its core, driving his blazing blade into the heart of the machine. The explosion lit the heavens. The final dawn, when the light faded, silence fell. The machine fleet was gone, broken and scattered. The sky was clear again, twin suns rising over Vathar. The survivors gathered in the city's great square. Wounded, weary, but alive, humans stood beside Valith, no longer strangers. Marcus stumbled forward, his glow dimming. Serenia caught him, steadying his weight. His eyes were tired but steady. Is it over? Cade asked, his voice hoarse. Marcus looked to the horizon. No black ships remained, only the dawn. He nodded. For now. The silver-eyed elder approached, bowing his head deeply.
Human, no, more than human.
You are the bridge we needed. You saved us. Marcus shook his head. I didn't do it alone. We did it together. Human and Valith. That's the only way we win. Serenia's hand rested on his arm, her gaze filled with quiet respect. You carry both our peoples now. A new path begins. Marcus looked at the rising suns. For the first time since his ship had crashed, he felt something stronger than fear. Hope. The dawn shone brighter, and with it came the promise of a future no machine could erase.